Are men trash?
Oh, cis, heterosexual men, absolutely, especially white men.
What rights do you think?
Modern feminism is a dogshit theory. You ask most feminazis what they want, they essentially want a free handout. When going on a date, they believe men should pay, or in a couple dynamic, the man should raise the kids, have a full-time job and pay for everything, while the lady just sit around and do nothing and just pants her hands out for free money. That is essentially what they believe in. They go by the male hatred methodology to condemn men. Let's hate men because they're straight men. They never explain why being straight is bad, and nor did they explain why being a male is bad. It just fits their narrative to hate men. I want to make an analysis on this video from Gen because he does a really good job having a conversation with radical left without triggering them, even though he's a straight male. So let's start digging into what these feminazis have to say.
Are able to walk out maybe in whatever they want to wear, or, you know, be able to stand strong through societal pressure.
Look at that. I'm already correct with feminists blaming men without giving a reason. Really? Men can walk out and wear whatever they want? They can wear nothing? As far as I know, men, just like women, has to wear clothes. Really? Men can walk out and wear whatever they want? They can wear nothing? As far as I know, men, just like women, has to wear clothes. There has been cases of men not wearing pants at a park and getting arrested for public exposure or indecency, and there has been cases where if there's a kid around, they have to register as a sex offender. So within 10 seconds of her airtime on this video, she's already wrong.
Women can go to war.
Yeah, but how about...
Women can go to war.
It's true. Who's overwhelmingly going to war and dying in wars?
Men. I'm not gonna argue that.
I mean...
Look at this lady showing us that she knows the fact that men are more inclined to dying and suffering, but she still insists on condemning men without giving a proper reason why they are the problem of this world. What's the point of saying women can go to war if not many women are going to go to war? You can tell she is not confident in her belief and she just wanted to side with women because either she is taught or she is biased.
I think that feminism is also, it's almost an excuse for behavior. Flashing your tits or something like that, you know, behaviors like that. Like, but if a guy wanted to pull just his balls out, you know, it would be a little less socially accepted for sure.
I've always been skeptic about women with tattoos because it's typically a sign of people with childhood trauma and it's a pretty huge baggage. But it's nice to see this lady making the most sense out of the rest of the females in this video.
May I ask you, like, what are some, like, examples of misogyny that you faced?
Oh, let's see. I went through there was one time, I'm a psychology major. We were tasked with counting how many times we got catcalled. I realized every time during that month I went to a gas station at nighttime, I got catcalled.
Oh great, a psychology major student with ugly hair color and no bra. Throughout my childhood, I met a bunch of psychology students and they pretend to care about their major, talking about how they enjoyed a social experiment they did. In reality, they're saying that they enjoy it so no one like me will look at them with disappointment. You sure it was catcalling? I would believe it if it was a homeless man, cause their standards can't get any more lower. Looking at her, she's not bad if she dressed properly and takes a bath and undo the hideous hair color. I can imagine her being a 6.5 or a 7, but of course, she wants to take things to the extreme and pixie dust her hair, ruining her looks and wasting her youth. I just cannot imagine anyone with proper taste to catcall her. I highly doubt that is the truth, but you know, as a very typical of a feminist, they always lie and always making up their own story. Very highly likely she made up her story about this catcalling situation that she had in a gas station. So yeah, I wouldn't buy it.
There's a lot more men in power in the top 1%. A lot of the women are the ones left in the dust.
There's definitely, like, in the top 1%, I think there's definitely more men, for sure. But let's say, like, in the bottom, right? Like, most suicides are men. You know, most people with depression are men. Do we sometimes ignore that to maybe showcase disparities where it might not exist?
Yes, men do have a disadvantage at that point.
So is it fair to say then that both genders at this point maybe have disadvantages in certain situations, but when it comes to the law, they're pretty equal and even opportunities?
Yes, it does have that societal influence more from a social standpoint. It's not necessarily what is placed in the law, but it has everything to do with how people interpret the law for themselves. With women, it's you have to jump through all these barriers in order to even be elected in office.
Wait, isn't this stereotyping? She is essentially using the top 1% of men to represent all men, but ignores the fact that the bottom 1% of society is men as well. She doesn't realize how biased she is until Jen pointed that fact out. Jen also pointed out that because men are on top and bottom shows that there's a clear equality between the genders. However, instead of accepting the fact, she is biased. She created a random theory where a woman has to jump through these theoretical barriers in order to have the same edge as men. This goes to show that why I believe majority of the world is stupid, and one of the reasons is that people like her ignore their mistakes after getting folded by Jen.
Men trash.
Cis, heterosexual men, absolutely, especially white men.
Weren't you just talking about equality?
Oh, absolutely. But we have to have that viewpoint because of how much we've been attacked just by that gender.
But you just said that all straight men are trash. Like, that's a pretty big generalization, don't you think?
It definitely is. It's not necessarily something I'm gonna saying via statistics. I'm saying via experience.
Look at that. Stereotypical trash female you will never want to settle down for. Why she even want to have anything to do with a man at this point? She should disassociate herself from having any form of connection to a man. Let's start with her toxic hair color, invented from William Henry Perkins, a man, a professor. And her glasses, created or invented by Salvino di Armati. A man invented those. Why is she wearing them? Why is she dyeing her hair? I wonder why. I thought she hates men, right? And as for clothes, well, she can keep those on. No one knows where it came from. Like, I'm pretty sure cave people have been wearing them, but I don't really care. She could just keep her clothes on. This lady must have been raised by a single mother or a deadbeat dad. No way in hell can you be so stupid to be raised by a proper father and hate men so much. Don't worry about all women being this dumb. As you can see, some do change their mind and accept that their thoughts are dumb and they adapt and become smarter.
I don't think men are trash. Men just have more advantages. But like I said, like I wouldn't want to be on the front lines of like, some army. I don't.
When feminism goes out the window, right?
Yeah, that's it. 100% does.
Look at that. She admits it. This is where Jen does a good job talking to extremists, where he can get them to admit their ideals are trash and help this lady become smarter within minutes of their interaction, which is why this guy does deserve a subscribe. It's nice to know that not all these women are delusional. The lady with the tattoo, and there was a light-skinned girl that respected men because she loves her father, and she can tell, looking at her father raise her, he endured a lot of dog shit to raise her, and she has the common sense to appreciate his endeavors. And the reason there are toxic women is because they never experience hardship, and all they can do is listen to some male-hating feminists telling them false propaganda, most likely to make money. Like, hey, buy my book, I talk about how men are the problem of this world, the whole deal. The thing with these feminazis is that there's not much you can do. I think the best thing to do is to just ignore them, let them believe in their ideals. Anything that men should just exclude it from these feminazis because they're just so obsessed with destroying what men had. For example, the MLB, women are forcing men to wear pink outfits to support, I don't know, like something, or like rainbow outfits to support LGBT. It's not so much that LGBT is forcing them, it's probably like the dude's wives that's giving them a hard time, saying, hey, you gotta be accepting, gotta give them love and care, when the guy doesn't really feel comfortable wearing a rainbow cap or a rainbow jersey or painting their treasured bat rainbow, right? But you know what? It's just these feminazis should just be excluded from men events like the NFL, NBA, MLB, or anything that men likes. But that's just what feminists do. They see that men are doing something good for themselves, they just want to destroy it. It's very typical of them. Overall, I think I said enough about these sexist feminists. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. I upload 2 to 3 times a week. See ya.